Oh, hi, my name's Dennis, and welcome to my YouTube. I haven't made a video in a while because I was ill, sick, and had some other problems. But anyway, let's move on. I noticed that when I was looking at some of my other videos, some of you people have made comments about certain things, and so I thought I'd make a video about answering some questions. One question is reference to the sleeve in a Glock, and when I went to Cerakote it, I couldn't pull it out very easily because there's a tool made that I didn't have that will allow you to pull it out. And I just said, hey, for $1, I didn't even bother to pull them out. I just go ahead and do my Cerakoting and everything else. And when it heats up, that thing shrinks, and I just pop it out and put a new one in there. Some people say, well, save yourself $1 and buy yourself the $20 tool. Uh, go for it, right? Some of you talked about how do I get my timing on Cerakoting, whether I'm using the full heat method all the way down to a minimum heat. What you have to understand is Cerakoting is a ceramic type material, and heating it is 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 an art. And what I did is I took different pieces of metal and tested them out, and that's how I found my timing and how to do it. So that way I can do inlaying and over some other stuff. And I can do not just inlaying. I can also take things and and put them into a piece of plastic handle. In other words, like the grip. You you need to know how to put that in there and cut it out, put it in there. But when I go to Cerakote the whole handle and do that ring around this in Cerakoting and do some artsy stuff with the Cerakote paint, this has to be in there to match the line. So you have to learn how to not burn this thing up and how to yet set and cure the Cerakoting. Took time, but you can do it. I mean, just buy some Cerakote and start learning it. It's not very hard. You'll find that temperature regulates pretty precise. Within 5 to 10 degrees. I wouldn't try to, never mind. But that's what I would do. That's what I did on the Cerakoting. Someone mentioned about the Smith and Wesson, and I went and reviewed that, and there is a lot of things I could say about Smith and Wesson. In fact, I could say it about all the firearms. There's certain firearm makers that I expect a level of quality above everybody else. And I ain't even talking about Kimber. I'm talking about anybody else. I don't care who you are of a manufacturing. Individual people who make their weapon. I build 1911s for individuals. I take the raw thing and cut it all out and give it. Well, good. That's you. But Smith & Wesson is above you, for as I'm concerned. In quality assurance and everything else align. Okay, there is a line that is drawn. And even though all these other ones you're paying $3,800, $4,000 for a pistol, why I don't know. Well, yeah, I do, because you're paying for their time and labor. You're not paying for materials. Trust me. But anyway, you have to look at who manufactures weapons in a market and yet maintains a quality control of the highest caliber that can ever be done. And I expect Smith & Wesson to be right there. Right there. They've been around for a long time. They've been through everything. You know what I mean? They've been through all the designing headaches. They've been through all the testing headaches. They've been through everything. They've been through breech, in other words, for the barrel, for the amount of pressure that's inside of a barrel, and opposed to the breech and how the breech is locked, and everything else, they've gone through the testing of that to get that stuff finite it down to the 1 pound area. So they're really, really meticulous, and they've been down this road for a long, long time. So when a weapon comes from them, I expect that weapon to be of the highest quality no matter what. Now, sometimes a company doesn't have a very good quality control person. Things slip through. They shouldn't with Smith & Wesson. They shouldn't with other ones, other manufacturers either. But they do. Glock has a lot of weapons that their quality control screw up on, and you get them back. But Glock hasn't paid the dues that Smith & Wesson has. They haven't been around long enough. They haven't done the research and the development that Smith & Wesson has. They haven't paid the dues that Smith & Wesson has. So, when I pick up a Smith & Wesson, I don't expect too much, except for one thing: quality piece of equipment. Well, the Smith & Wesson Pro Series is supposed to be their top line. Nice little weapon. I wrote a little thing on it. I took it to the range when I first got it and shot the crap out of it. And I'm going to tell you, I was impressed. It shot so nice and smooth and everything else. I mean, really, the flip was really, really nicely controlled by the weight balance of the weapon. I mean, the weapon is balanced in such a way. They did their work right. So I give them kudos on that in the video, and I like it. Now, let's back up to the research and development and also the design team when they meet. This video is about that on the Smith & Wesson. First order of business, let's talk about, they provide you with magazines. Now, these are Smith & Wesson magazines. These aren't, off the shelf generics. These were made by Smith & Wesson for Smith & Wesson. Okay, so it's a regular 7 rounds. It holds them nicely and tight and feeds beautifully. Goes in nice and snap in real nicely. The feed of the housing, the grip housing here is right for the Smith & Wesson, and they go in, snaps in nicely. But the problem is, now, notice the little gap here. It's not marrying up to the hand grip. So the frame and the hand grip, this doesn't marry properly. Has this big gap in the back. Okay, the design team, you get a C, maybe a D plus on that one. Really bad. Now, design team on your feed ramp. Inside here, the feed ramp. Okay, there's a precise measurement that feed ramp and the frame is supposed to be when it's supposed to be right. Now this one, when I measured it, was lock right on tight. It was perfect. Design team did a good job. A plus. Okay. The other thing is now it comes with little low profile sights. They're not night. They're not so they don't glow in the night. They're not they don't have tritium in them. So I'm looking at them, and so I'm looking at the sight system. I'm going, wow, because this is the sight that I had on it when I first bought it, and it was rock solid and really tight on its group shotting. And my son Timothy says, "Oh, Dad, you need to buy Trijicon. Put those on there." And I had a set sitting around there. I always got a bunch of these sitting around. People want to buy them. I don't know why. I like the Trijicons. Just see the glow here. That's kind of nifty. And that's all right. The back doesn't glow. Okay, these are call them HD. Why? High definition? I don't know. Not high definition camera there, so I don't know why. But anyway, but they sit high. Look how high they sit compared to this. All right, get my fingers. arthritis is kicking in. Notice the difference? Big difference. Okay, design team. Okay, this is an F. You lost this one. I give you an F. I don't even give you a D, and you're not even approaching C. You got a nice low profile site, but you screwed up big time because you didn't think about one thing. What if I was to take the front post side of that and put a piece of tritium in it? A little tritium tube. Tritium tube would cost me, $1.20. Okay. We took $1.20, drilled a hole, put the tritium in there. Wow, they'd have tritium night sights. Really nice little plus, and it'd be low profile. They wouldn't have to go off market, because I hate going off market with the Smith & Wesson. So overall, because I give this weapon on its shooting and everything an A, and a lot of its designs a lot of A, a few things I give it a B, and one thing I gave it a C is this thing here. But because you didn't even bother to think, use that brain of yours, Smith & Wesson, I'm giving you a C on your Pro. Because of that one reason, just because of that, the overall weapon gets a C. Maybe a C minus, because that's a big deal. Your design team screwed up, Smith & Wesson, and if I was the CEO of Smith & Wesson, I'd fire that design team, because that is such a simple thing to fix, and you overlooked it without any remorse. All you had to do was take the existing site, drill a small hole, put a piece of tritium in there, and it would have been perfect there. Then all you had to do on this is get the design team. This is a freaking piece of plastic. You could have molded this to this frame and grips. Perfect. This weapon would be perfect. So, all right. Anybody want to buy a 1911? Comments down below. I paid $12.80 for it. Make me an offer. Have a nice day, and we'll talk to you later.